Hey everybody. Um Welcome to Riding Through the Storm with me. Or Riding Through the Storm. Welcome to Riding Through the Storm. So I hope you're doing good. I hope you had a good day. I hope you got some things accomplished. And which I tried to do today. Tried to get some things accomplished, but I woke up this morning and it was not a good girl day. So I had to call my boss and take some time to get it together. Get this girl under control. Us females know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, my day kind of got off to a slow start this morning. And then while I was laying here, I thought it would be a great idea to watch this amazing video. This light is so bright. That my daughter made for me for my 50th birthday, right? I'm trying to get this right. It's actually a reading lamp. So my daughter made this video for me for my 50th birthday, and I thought it would be a good idea while I was laying here to watch it again. I haven't watched it in a little while, so I was like, oh, let me watch it, you know. And started watching it, and it was like, it's like, oh, I'm starting to cry again like I did when I first saw it. It's absolutely beautiful from what I remember, because as I started watching it, all of a sudden, my soon to be, well, lion pops up. Yeah, I don't like home ec, so lion pops up. A whole frame is him. In the video, excuse me, I'm burping, excuse me. In the video, like this, talking to, supposedly talking to me. Did 50 years and looking all sincere-ish, and I had to shut it off because I could feel all the emotions coming up, and it was becoming hard to watch. His lips were moving, but I, for whatever reason, was looking at his eyes for a while. I was like just staring at it, and then I noticed that the words he was saying, I don't know, it just started messing with me, so I shut it off. And I really wanted to watch that video, but I just couldn't do it. I tried. I kept trying to like play it, and then I could have fast forward, but for whatever reason, that wasn't a thought in my head. Like, just fast forward past him, go past him. Like I'm gonna have to do is past him, but I couldn't. It was really hard, and I just shut it off. I tried a couple times, and then it just got more uncomfortable. So instead, I just laid there for a little bit till I started feeling better. Right before my next meeting started, my lovely Zoom meeting. I'm sure you're all living in this world of Zoom. So I just went ahead and waited for the meds to start kicking in. Anyway, I just went on to do the rest of things, try and get myself together so I could get moving and mobile, which was really, really tough and really, really hard because I wasn't feeling it at all. And probably it was hugely physical, but partly emotional. So, got through my day. I got through it. It's about 6 something here now. This light is really starting to irritate me. And I got a chance to talk to my mom and stuff today, which I found myself needing to do that. Like, I needed to talk to my mom and needed to kind of touch bases with everybody, a few people, my kids and stuff, checking on my daughter. And I tried to call my other daughter, and she's working, and then she was talking to me, but then I had to get off. So kind of been in this weird mood today because I talked to Lion yesterday, not verbally, but through texting. And I think I did a video about that. It was very uncomfortable and awkward and just a little bit stressful. So I've kind of already been in a awkward mood, but then the video didn't help. So, you know, it's just strange. Oh, I'm sure you noticed I'm not in my car. This is actually my bed. I've never had a bed set. Well, that's a lie. I had a bed set when I met Lion, but he made me give it away because I had slept with other men in it. But he was so kind as to give me his ex-wife's mattress that had her menstruating blood on it because it was a great mattress. And the diamond from her wedding ring, I guess, or something like that. I digress. Yeah, ever since yesterday, it's a lot of stuff just been messing with me. Even today in the shower, just a lot of processing, and I know that that's going to be a thing. And I'm sure once I get back into therapy, which is going to be soon, it will help. But I do realize that I need to be able to process. And my process might not look like your process, and yours won't look like mine. But, the reason I'm doing all this and exposing myself and saying stuff that probably just is so freaking weird and awkward is because, well, it is freaking weird and awkward, and it's uncomfortable, and it's freaking frustrating, and it will make you angry and piss you off. And that's okay. It's just fine. Nobody has to like your process. Nobody has to like how you process stuff. But it is your responsibility to process. And it is your responsibility to not do it in a way that is harmful. Like to your kids and stuff like that. Like if you need to cry, and it's a possibility your kids are probably going to hear you. You put a note on the door. You may hear crying. It's okay. I'm good. I'm processing. Sometimes kids need to know that. They need to know that it's okay to cry. God gave you tear ducts for a reason. What are you supposed to not use them? We're mostly made up of water. So are you telling me that I'm not supposed to use these tear ducts that God gave me? Oh, somebody should have told me that a long time ago. Anyway, so yeah, I just been processing and trying to figure stuff out. So I brought home the divorce papers for me to try and fill out tonight, and I cannot tell you that I've actually removed them out of their container to do that. They're in like a little zip thing, and I haven't done that. I've pretty much done whatever else to avoid it, and I'll probably finish one page tonight. It'd be great if I finished it all, but I'm probably not, and that's okay. I'm gonna get it done because it has to be done. So yeah, he's asking to come get his stuff, and now all of a sudden he wants the TV when before he told me I could keep the TV, but now he says he wants it. So I was feeling some kind of way about it. I wasn't thinking about breaking it, but I was a little perturbed. He's got the sound bars that the kids bought him for his birthday, and I want him to have those. And it is his TV. I mean, give the man his TV. But I'm probably not going to have him in my house or in the house. It's not my house anymore because I'm having to leave too. So I will most likely remove it, find the box, put it in the box, and put it in the garage along with all his other things because there should be no reason for him to come upstairs. And I'm actually trying to figure out if I want to have a friend stay here at the house while I leave so that he can come and get his things and he's not trying to hang out. If you want to hang out with your children, go do it somewhere else. This is where I live. And that's something he would do, and then stay here so long that I have to come back. I can pretty much tell you what's going to happen. He's probably been fasting. So he's probably lost the weight that I wanted him to lose. Just for health reasons, if nothing else. The belly, I'm used to the belly. It made him slower and sluggish, and he didn't have any energy on the weekends. And my weekends, I have to take a day to recover. Generally, that's my Friday. I take my Friday, I rest, I sleep, I just do nothing. I just take care of me on Fridays. And then Saturday and Sunday, especially here, if the weather's good, I like to go do something. Or at least one of the days I like to do something. And then try and get some housework or something done. But he was always too tired and didn't have any energy. So I could pretty much tell you he's probably lost about 20 pounds, starving himself. And then he most likely, since he's talking about getting his TV and stuff, he must have gotten a car, but he didn't want to get a car while we were together. He didn't need one because he's planning to move out of the country because America's going to hell in 2024. Pretty sure the Bible says no man knows the hour, but maybe he knows something I don't. So, most likely, I'm pretty sure he probably has gotten a car. It's probably a convertible Audi or something really nice. And he probably will have on really nice clothes that I've tried to get him to buy while we were together. So now he's been looking up on YouTube or whatever how to dress sexier. So I'm pretty sure he's going to actually have on something other than his work uniform. Yeah, pretty sure about that. And I don't want to be here to see it. Not at all. It probably will be a great day to join the gym that day for me. Go sweat it out with the oldies or whatever. It's, the stuff, it's so sad because to me, I don't know how you feel about it, but a lot of this stuff is like games. It's like, why play these stupid ass games? Why? If when we were together, you wanted to be fat, say I want to be fat. I just want to be fat. That's all. I don't want to be thin or thinner. I don't want to work out and build up my body. I don't want to do that. I don't want to save money. I don't want to create an account so that we can travel and do whatever we want when these kids are gone. I don't want to do that. Say I just want to spend all my money and I don't care about what happens in the future. I could give a flying crap. I don't want to get out of debt. I want to owe the IRS. Just say that. But don't play games that now that you decide that you're done and ready to move on, that all of a sudden you're getting your crap together to give the perception that it was me all along. Because, honey, I'm telling you, it all comes out in the wash. Because your past generally repeats in your future. So, see, there we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. That tends to happen sometimes. Most likely, I'm in my car by myself. Unfortunately, I just did it for the whole world to see. But that's what this is for. And that was unintentional. I have a whole other thing I was supposed to talk about, but that was like probably sitting right here. Let me get some tea. I got my tea out. Yeah, it's sitting there. Unfortunately. Anyway, what I was really wanting to talk about was something my dad had said. I'm trying to stop saying so just work with me. Something my dad had said about marriage. When Lion and I were going for marriage counseling, and remember, I said, be very careful of who you have counseling you, of who you have supporting you, of who you pull into your life, who you pull into your circle. Just be careful. Make sure that they are where you want to go, or they're going in the direction you're going. Do not ride the coattails of those, or ride the sidecar with somebody who is probably not going in the same direction you're going, because you're going to mess yourself up. And I've done that. Even in my marriage, there have been times that I have linked myself up with people I probably should not have. Not probably, I should not have, for one reason or another. I take full responsibility for that. What can I say? Bad choices. But if you don't learn from them, then it was a waste of time. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, about where I'm going, about my choices, about how my choices affect the people in my life, and about allowing other people's choices to affect me. I can say that a lot of things with my husband, I'm sure there was quite a bit of some of the choices I made were out of rebellion. Some of them were out of having have been so good for so long and still being called. He never called me a floozy or anything, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of the type of things he would say. He would use Bible lingo, but say that I was Jezebeling it up, basically. Like I'm hanging out with Jezebels or hanging out with hoes. And none of them were that. Some of them were definitely single women, but hoes, nah, I ain't got time for hoes. I ain't never had time for hoes. But that's just, it didn't matter. That if I was talking to them, or he never realized I was most likely counseling them or supporting them. These amazing women that were in my life, but because he was either threatened by them or because of his lack of trust in himself, bled over into his lack of trust for me. So, like I said, remember, it ain't all about you. If you have the ability to do some really good self-examination and look at yourself, and I mean really look at yourself, be able to know, why am I doing what I'm doing? Or is what I'm doing going to jeopardize what I say, what my mouth says so much? Am I jeopardizing that? And especially when you're in a relationship with somebody who has certain types of tendencies to have behavioral issues that can cause you to be in a mental prison. Be careful. Just be careful. Don't be afraid to ask others about your views, but don't ask for people who will kiss you behind and tell you what you want to hear. Ask people who will tell you the truth. Like Lion's grandmother was quite honest with me about quite a lot of stuff. Because I often would ask her, like, if I did this, would I be wrong if I did this? Is this bad? Because I trusted her, and I know she had not always been the perfect wife. And she had made a lot of bad choices. But she had learned how to make good ones. And she gave me really good insight on myself and how to look at myself and how I should carry myself. And that helped me. Now, at that time, I was so caught up in the abracadabra that he was playing on my brain that I literally could not fully grasp. I could hear it. I was able to categorize it and place it in my brain in a place for storage, but I wasn't able to use it for now. I don't know if that makes sense. I wasn't able to access it for the now. I just was able to receive it, hear it, process it, look at it, and then I just kind of categorized it. Because at the time, like I said, the magic trick, the abracadabra, whatever that was being done on my brain was so overwhelming. For me to, I think it was probably somewhat threatening, because if I took all the information that she was giving me, and not just her, there were other people that people were giving me at that time, I would have had to have left. And I think that's how I got to the suicide attempt, was because both sides of my brain were fighting. And one side is saying, this is crazy to be sitting in this. Like, you would never have taken this off any other man who did and said this stuff to you before you met him. What are you doing? And the other side of my brain is saying, he's my husband. He's going to get better. He's not going to be less. I'm walking by faith, not by sight. I'm not leaning on my own understanding. I'm staying on the word. I'm putting on my full armor. I'm not going to let those things hinder or hurt me. I'm going to keep myself in a place where I can stay focused and let God lead, not me. Lord, more of you, less of me. I remember those battles. And that day, I think because I had been given the gift of the wisdom of an amazing woman who had made a lot of mistakes, but was never, not one time was she ever afraid or ashamed to share them with me. She just shared them like she was giving me a recipe on making tortillas, which she did that too. She just shared them. But the two parts of me were fighting. And I wasn't ready to make a decision. And I was breaking inside. When they say mental break, I was literally having a mental break. The two halves of my brain were fighting. And the atmosphere and spirit of my home was dangerously toxic and aggressive and angry. Very angry. Just like you could almost, it was so filling, you could almost touch it. I used to tell Lion, as I started to learn how to speak up sometimes, I would tell him, why is it when you come home, it's like, it feels like you suck all the air out of the room? And I wasn't saying it to be mean. I was saying it because that's what it felt like. It felt like, you know how you blow up a balloon and you fill the balloon up with air and then you hand it to somebody and they just, and that's what it felt like when he walked into the room. Me and the kids could be laughing, playing, joking, doing finger painting, having a great time, crawling around on the floor, watching Blue's Clues, just having fun, just enjoying, working on alphabets, doing homework, singing. We did a lot of singing. I loved having music on, and then his grandfather would play the saxophone later on in the evening, and I would open the window so the kids could hear. I mean, it would just be almost magical. And yeah, people were spilling things and dropping things and breaking things and hitting each other and all that. That was all going on, but I expected that. I didn't like it, but stop. No, put that down. Go over there. You're on timeout. Come here. Sit with me. Oh, let me give you a hug. I love you. Healed in the name of Jesus. All that was going on at the same time. Because at that time I had 4. So Um, there was a lot going on. But the instant he came in and shut the door, all the oxygen left the room, and it was as if you couldn't breathe. And over time, it got worse and worse and worse. So, one day we'll discuss that whole day, but I was saying that to say about being careful who you allow to speak into your marriage and counsel you. And I was pretty careful about that. And some of it wasn't even by my choice. He just was cutting people out of my life little by little, and I didn't even realize it. People who were very key parts in me being who I was. And if you love who I am, how can you not love these people? But yet many good reasons why. So anyway, so that's why I was saying that, is just be careful. And this time we went to our counseling before we got married. And so my dad gives this really great analogy. And so instead of just giving an analogy, I am a very visual person. I write my notes in colors. I do things visually because my brain does not operate well with just one color or just notes. Like my notes have arrows and hearts and, little categories on one side. It's just, I don't know. This is how I operate. That's how my brain works. So anyway, I am just trying to get some better light because it's like, I don't know. And there goes my phone ringing, and that is my daughter calling me right now. And I'm sure it's not important at all.
So I was looking at wigs for my graduation.
Oh, wait, can I call you right back? I'm in the middle of doing my homework. I'll call you back. I'm almost done.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye. Sorry about that. So, as I was saying, so I'm very visual. So what I did was my dad said that being married is like taking, okay, well, this says husband. Maybe if I do it that way. There we go. Husband and wife. So this is the husband piece of paper. This is the wife piece of paper. Okay? So my dad said when you get married, it's like two pieces of paper. And once you say I do, so this is the covenant or the commitment, right? So you are saying that you two are going to be stuck together for life, right? And you guys want to do life together. So you want to walk through the rest of your life. So what you don't see is me taking the commitment, the I do's, the vows, and I am covering the word husband, right? And I covered the word wife because cover each other. So taking these two, and you're saying that you two want to make your life one. So you want to be as one, right? So this is who you want to be. You don't want to be just wife or just husband. You want to be stuck together for life, right? So my dad says that through the years of you being stuck together, you're choosing to take two individuals and make them into one whole person. I don't like that. I don't like two halves. I've come to realize that you should be a whole person when you come into your marriage. And if you're not, don't do it till you are. And he should be a whole person when you come into your marriage. So one complete sheet, not a half a sheet. One complete sheet, not a half a sheet, should come together. And that creates a much more stable and whole person, right? So you two are saying that that's what you want to do. And my dad went on to say, you're going to go through life. There's going to be things that happen. You're going to have a lot of instances of where you're going to battle through unforgiveness, and you're probably going to say something that hurts her, and she's going to say stuff that hurts you. But you guys have made this commitment to be together. And so I was like, yeah. And he says, but I want you to know one thing. He said, I'll go back to the paper. He said, but for right now, I want you to think about this. Every time you guys do stuff against each other, you do stuff to each other. It's like you take a brick and you have several options of what to do with that brick. You can resolve the issue and smash the brick, or you can take the brick and you can stash the brick. And so he says that generally what happens is that we don't smash the brick. We don't smash the issues. We generally stash the brick. And if you keep stashing bricks, what happens is you create a wall between you and your spouse. And I remember sitting there, and I remember my dad telling us that, and I'm like, we would never do that. Oh my gosh. And my dad's like, no, you can. He's like, if one of you goes to school, you both need to go to school. If one of you's taking a Bible class, you both need to take a Bible class. If somebody's learning how to cook, the other one need to be learning how to cook. So I don't care what you do. You need to make sure that you are balanced. And even if cooking's not your thing, it's not even about the cooking. It's about doing it together. And as time has gone on, I've thought about it even deeper than that. And so there were several classes we took over the years, how to buy a house and stuff like that. I was always looking for something that would improve our life and for us to do together to go forward, because I come from, my dad is an entrepreneur. He was very successful and very wealthy entrepreneur at one time in his life. He owned, I think my dad's owned a couple businesses, but he did well for himself. My dad never really wanted to work for anybody but himself, and if you know him. So I knew that I had that same thing within me. I just was excited that now I had a husband, so I didn't have to do that part anymore. Check, that box was done. Now let's move forward into the world of success, because now I've got my partner in crime. We're going to rock this. We're going to do this. I got all this know-how. You don't have to know, baby. We will do it together. I'll show you how to do it. But I didn't marry that kind of person. We were on two different freeways when it came to things like that. And that's another analogy I give my kids, is that you want to pick somebody who's going on the same freeway as you. So if you're going on the 5, so if you're going on the 5 freeway and you're headed to LA, why would you get somebody going on the 405? They're not going where you're going. Why would you pick somebody on a absolutely totally different freeway than where you're going? If that's not the direction you're going, find your bees. Keep on your navigation. And unfortunately, my husband was very much what do they call him? Not adaptive. He just knew how to, not a chameleon, conform into what I wanted him to be. So he's very good at listening. So he listens to what you say, and then he tries to create that and make you believe that he himself what a coinky dink. I'm going in the same direction you're going. But you were going on the 405. Oh, no. I just made a wrong turn. I was actually trying to get on the 5. But I just got off, didn't read this. I'm heading the same place you going. You going to 5? I'm going 5 too. And that actually wasn't true. We were going in 2 different directions. And had I continued to listen more wisely, I would have known that. So I'm not mad at him. I should have been paying attention. So Anyway, so back to what I was saying. So that's really important to be paying attention to. I didn't at that time. You know, I wasn't looking at the clues. I wasn't fully paying attention. And I remember the bricks. I could literally label them because not only do you build a wall, but you wind up, if you have the wrong spouse, I want to say the right, but the wrong spouse, they'll wind up hitting you with them bricks. And I got hit with them bricks. My husband's not physically abusive. I don't mean in that way. I mean, he would use things that happen and put them in my face. So, and that's very painful. And then I'm not the type of person to do it back. So I would fight this inner war within me to not do it back. And there were times I did it back, and then I felt so sick about it. I would feel so bad. I'm apologizing and kissing his butt and begging him to forgive me because I stepped out of my character. But he didn't step out of his. That's who he is. That vindictiveness is just who he is. But I was begging him to forgive me. And really, the person I needed to be talking to was God. And asking God to forgive me for stepping out of my character. Because that's not my character. That's not me. I'm not a schmearer. I don't like that. Because I don't like anybody doing that to me. So that became an issue. It empowered him, which weakened me. So be careful about that. I'm sure if you are watching this because you're going through a divorce, you probably are recognizing or familiar with some of this stuff. You know, there's technical stuff for this, but I'm really not trying to be technical. I'm trying to be myself. This is me trying to explain to another person, probably like me, and helping to heal another me. But who gets me, And that's the other thing that he got me, was I thought that he always got me. So, anyway, so the analogy is that you're stuck like glue, right? You make that vow and you say you're going to stick like glue. But what happens in divorce is what happens. When you get a divorce, that's what happens to the husband and the wife. You do not come out of it whole. I'm telling you, it's not possible. It's going to take some healing. There's going to be some pain. There's going to be some tears. There's going to be a lot of hurt. So just be very careful in what you're choosing. If your marriage is redeemable and there is no DV issues involved, there's nothing like that. It's just maybe a lot of pride. Or maybe some people need to work on learning how to forgive, how to move forward, and it's something you could work through. Not, it'll never be easy, but anything worth having isn't easy. There's a reason why that saying's been around so long. Ask anybody who became a doctor. Ask anybody who became anything they really wanted to be. I always wanted to be somebody's mom. I can't tell you it was a breeze. Heck no, I could tell you some stuff that happened and things I had to do and stuff I had to pull out of people's orifices and oh my gosh, like, believe it if you're not a parent. I've had to do some way out stuff. Been through some scary stuff. But it was worth it. I wish I could say the same about my marriage, and some of you will be able to do that. If you can save it, if you and your husband can save it, frickin' save it. But if it's not savable, if it's not redeemable, then try and walk through it together as much as possible, not trying to harm each other. Because divorce is going to do it anyway. You're not going to get out of it unscathed. It's not possible. It's not set up for you to get out of it unscathed. That person will forever be a part of your life. I don't care how you try and ignore it, put it in a file, have the courts file it away. You can never say it didn't happen. You can never say it didn't exist, because it did. So, if more people could grow up, and if you have to go through a divorce, remember why you got into it, and that person is still the same person that you wanted to do life with. It just, things happen, it didn't work out. So try and figure a better way. Anyway, this video is way longer than it should be, and I'm hoping to be able to edit it down. But I just want you to know that little bit of information that my dad shared with me, and I wanted to pass it on because I found it to be very probably one of the reasons why I stayed so long too. I was trying to avoid a lot of pain, you know. So anyway, excuse me, heartburn. Thank you for riding through the storm with me today's storm. And I hope you got something out of this. I hope it blessed you in some kind of way. And if anything, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.